Easy E, how are we?
Ah, Sean, I'm very good. You know why?
W- uh, Why?
Go on, I give you one guess.
I don't know. I wish we talked about these things before we hit the record button. I don't. I have no idea. We've got this whole Donadea thing, special Thursday episode, and you're coming at me now with just I'm very good stuff. Going. Why?
Well, do you know why?
I don't know why. I asked you why
You didn't
twice.
even guess. It's
No, I'm
terrible
not
sport.
guessing.
I'm really good because I don't have to run 50K on Saturday.
You're gonna
But
get
some of
FOMO
you
Saturday.
crazies, some of you crazies have taken on the challenge of the Donadea 50K. You're one of them. Hey, how are you feeling about it?
You know what? This episode's not about me. This episode's about our guest, about Dundee and all and all. It's one of those where I don't want to say the same thing again as that. Do you know what annoys me? Not annoys me. I talked this before in the podcast where
Slow
just because
drivers.
you've that's me. So I'll be slow runners. A lot of people are gonna be annoyed by how I run, but get the hell out of the way and keep those headphones off. Because I've done this before, and I talked last year in the podcast, I never ran 50K under 5 hours. And for me, I was delighted to get in 4:45, and I did it, I achieved it, whatever me training. But I've not done as much running leading up to this time. I got 32K in last weekend, and I got it in. I was somewhat on track, but the legs were dying. I couldn't keep the pace I was doing to get to 50K in the 5 hours, even though it doesn't show in the first 32. But when I'm saying to people this year about it, like, oh yeah, you did it last year, you'd be grand. I'm like, no, no, but I haven't ran as much. Oh yeah, no, no, you'd be grand. Don't, why are you nervous about it? You've got this. I'm like, yeah, I know, but last year I did a 300K Christmas challenge, and then I was running more in January, and my times for the half marathon in Donadea were faster, and I got more long runs in, and like, yeah, but you've done it before, so you do it again. Don't worry about it. Like, no, you're not fucking listen to me. So yeah, and also this will be the first time where we'll be doing the 5K loops. I haven't actually done the 5K loop at Dundee because last year it got changed with there was I think there was water on part of the track, something the lake, there was a lot of rain or something like that. I can't exactly remember what it was, but it was 3.7K by 13 plus loops. Whereas this upcoming weekend is going to be a 5K loop. So there's something about rolling hills. I don't even know what the rolling hills are. I know
Yeah,
there's a
there's
hill.
a couple of hills. There's a couple of hills over about a kilometer. Not even. A couple of ups and downs. Just take a handy.
Do you know what they have in the park? And I don't know. I didn't do geography that well. They have, is it the seismic plates or something that collide? And between 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock in Dundee, they somehow push closer and closer. And the hills somehow get steeper and steeper with every lap. I don't know how it works, but the first lap, you're like, oh, this is grand. I can push at normal pace. But when it gets to lap 4, 5, 6, you're like, oh, I have to slow down this hill. This hill's getting bigger. Maybe I change course or something different of it. Like you said, it's trying to pace yourself through it. But the great thing about Donadea, some people think laps is an awful thing. I love it because unlike Dublin, you could
Yeah.
stop, refuel, stretch, massage going if you need to, throw on some ultra pure creams. We're promoting them right now and to get right back out again. Whereas in Dublin, you can't be like, you're not going to, it's very hard to do stuff like that. So, or any other marathon, it's very hard to do stuff like that. Dundee, you've got the chance to hydrate, refuel, and that should not be excuse for not getting under 5 hours. I'm going to need another one if I don't.
Yeah, you've your work cut out on this one. But look, it is a great occasion, and that's why this
Mm.
special episode is here this week. We have a great guest on. I suppose the founding father of the Donadea 50K is one to say, and more pressure to put on you, Sean. Jer, who was on this week's episode, reached out to say he's gonna lap you 5 times. I think he said five. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but he said you'll recognize him. He'll have an Any Given Run Day t-shirt on.
That's the only thing we're going to have in common this weekend because I fully believe that he'll do, if he says 5 times, he'll do it 5 times. Phenomenal. And who else to talk about Dundee 50K except the main man himself, Anton Lee, talking about this week? There's no better person to talk about this race. It is, in all seriousness, it is one of my highlights of the year. I know it's only my second year doing it. The atmosphere and everything at Dundee, the crowds that are there, the people you're running with, it is a very special event, and it's definitely right up there with some of my favorite running events of the year.
Yeah, and I suppose we've done enough hype about it. I suppose best to get into this short but sweet. but very useful top tips, tricks, and all you need to know about the Donadea 50k this week.
Let's go. So this week on the Any Given Run Day podcast, we have not only the race director of the upcoming 50k Irish National Championship in Donadea, but an ultra runner in his own right, having ran over 50 ultra marathons, including Connemara 100 and a 246 kilometer Spartathon. Anto Lee, welcome to this week's episode of the Any Given Run Day podcast. How are we getting on?
Yeah, thanks, lads. You still haven't known how to say Spartathlon yet after talking to Stephen.
You know what? Do you know what? I actually said to Eric, saying this, I said Spartathon. And I go, I think that's wrong. He goes, no, that's definitely 100% right. Yeah. And he's going to say, just stitch Sean up. But he hadn't a fucking clue either.
I don't, it's not as bad as the pentathlon you were saying last week.
Sean, you're getting a bit of a name for yourself. It's a lie. You won't be on. You're not going to be on countdown anytime soon. Anyway, Anto, you are very, very welcome to the podcast. It's so good to have you. So you are a real ultra runner. How did you get into running long?
Well, that maybe real is probably a bit too much, but about 2007, I'd say, when Sean was probably doing his inter-cert maybe, or his junior cert, I started running. Yeah, I started running and it was really slow, and it wasn't. I was always that slow, And I saw the Connemara Ultra, and I said, sure, I'll do that for the crack. And I looked up the results, but this is back before the internet and stuff like that. Well, not before the internet, before like results and were live and that. And I actually looked at page 3 of the results and says, "Geez, that's fairly doable." So I did that. And my first one, I came second last in about 8.5 hours, and that was the very first one I did back in, I think, 2008 maybe.
Had you done marathons before that?
Not the Connemara 100, the Connemara Ultra. I think it was 39 miles.
Jeez, still good going.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, your first one, I don't think I remember doing my first 42 in 5 hours, and I'm like, I was done. I can't do kilometers and miles on top of my head. But had you not run before that at all? Like that was just no marathon, just straight into that.
Oh no, I did a couple of marathons. I had done Dublin and I did Longford, I think, before that. But that was the days when there was only 4 or 5 marathons on every year. Like Dublin, Cork, Longford, Limerick, Belfast. I think it was the only thing that was on then.
You obviously have a very big love for running. What was it that brought you into the running in the first place? What got you to that first marathon?
Well, I used to play football, and then I stopped after I was in a motorbike accident. And I stopped playing football then, and I actually saw a photograph of myself from my holidays, and I says the size of that. So I said, sure. Double marathon.
Were you in SeaWorld?
Yeah, look away. I said double marathons on in a few months. I said, I'll do that. This is the days when it was on. You could decide two months before it, So I trained for that and did it. I think it was 5 hours and 25 minutes. I think doing it, and so that was the first. And then I just start clocking up then, So I think I've done about 200 marathons. I'd say by now, and I'd say I've DNF'd about 200 as well. I was hoping Ger Copeland's one would be on before me, so I could see what he said about me. They call me the DNF king.
Is that just for marathons?
Just for marathons. I've DNF'd a few ultras as well, There's no. I'm too
Haven't
old
done it.
Killing myself.
I haven't done a lot of them, Anto. When you look back, obviously you're involved in so much races now. But on your own race days, is there anyone that you just looked at and said, that was a really good day, or that's my favorite race, or, is there any of them you can look over them 200 that stand out to you, even in a top 3?
Well, favorite race probably Spartathlon or Sparalon as
Spartathon is spaghetti, as Sean would say.
As Sean would say, that'd be my favorite race. I've been over there I've done that finished that 3 times. Done it a few more. DNF'd it a few more times. I like the Connemara 100. It's a nice race, and I suppose Dublin as well. Be good to do, But I'd love to do Donadea 50k. I've never done that. I hear it's good. I hear it's okay.
It's good crack. Before we get into Donadea 50K, talk me through that race in Greece, I'll call it, that 246 kilometer race. Like, it must be over multiple days. Is it a certain time to hit certain places, or is it just you start zero and you got to make your own way to 246 kilometers?
Well, you start at 6 o'clock in the morning and you have to get there by, you start at 7 o'clock in the morning. You have to get there by 7 o'clock, 1.5 days later, 36 hours later.
And what's the heat like that time of year? Is it September or something it does be on?
It's end of September. It's the last weekend of September. It could be anything from 30 degrees to 40 degrees. It's really, really, really hot. And if it's not hot, they call it a soft year, you know.
Was that the 3 years you did it in Anto, or did you?
Well, I had 2 hot years, and I had one year when there was a hurricane.
Jeez.
And it was absolutely everyone. There was a kind of suited the big lads, you know, who could stay warm. But it was actually brilliant. There was rain and hail, and there was rain going up mountains. There was actually the hurricane blew away the finish line. There was no finish line. So it's basically finish up, go get your medal, and try and go back. There was absolutely nothing there. It was actually it was good. It was good out. It was a good day.
Did you even get that finish line feeling then, just crossing? I don't know.
Not that time. Not that time. It was just relief. There was no euphoria. There was no euphoria at all. It was going, oh, thank Jesus, this is over.
Jeez. And yet
So
you went back.
completed it.
We went back. Yeah, I always go back.
Having completed it 3 times, then what does it feel like to DNF?
You can the first time at DNF, you can kind of rationalise and say, sure, I finished before, you know. But it takes, as you know, it takes everything to go right for you to finish something like that, you know. So I went right for me 3 times, so I'll take that, you know. Even if I never do it again, I'll be happy enough.
There's definitely a lot of luck involved in that. And so when I see a lot of races, and even sometimes when myself and Eric are talking about races or talking on the podcast, you know, the odd F-bomb flies and stuff like that. But then, like, if we're talking in public, or if I'm in a big gym, I kind of have to watch sometimes what I say and make sure I don't offend people saying the right things and all the rest. And, you know, races, they're all by the book and stuff. And then you head down to Donadea and it's like 3 rules. No, rule number 1, no fucking littering. Rule number 2, be under 5 hours, pretty much 5 hours and fuck off, you're told. And rule number 3, no earphones, don't be a dickhead. If that's one rule, I did all right. If that's no earphones, don't be a dickhead. I definitely broke don't be a dickhead thing to a lot of people down there. But how did that come about?
Winter training? You need UltraPure Laboratories Wintergreen Heat Rub Cream.
Recommended by physios, trusted by athletes, and tried and tested by ourselves, this is an essential warming muscle rub for cold winter days.
UltraPure Wintergreen Heat Rub Cream is perfect for warming up muscles before exercise.
And ideal for soothing tired muscles, which, let's face it, marathon training, we could definitely do with that.
If you're concerned about the ingredients, it contains wintergreen oil, rosemary camphor oil, juniper berry oil, and antioxidant-rich caffeine powder. Sean has no idea what any of these means, but he knows that they work.
It keeps me warm too. Apply UltraPure Laboratories Wintergreen Heat Rub Cream liberally on problem areas such as the legs, arms, back, neck, and shoulders, and massage as well. Boy, rinse hands well with cool water after use. I have made that mistake. It is not fun.
Guaranteed Irish and made in County Mayo, UltraPure Wintergreen Heat Rub Cream is available in pharmacies and health stores nationwide. Shop the UltraPure Muscle Recovery range in-store or online and find out more at ultrapurelabs.ie. By listening to this advert, you are supporting Irish podcasts and Irish businesses. Let's get back to the podcast.
I don't really know. I'd always, you know, no litterings. I'm always coursing. I'm going to try not to course now for this whole podcast. It's really hard. But no, I'm always coursing, and in the forest we trying to do a leave no trace type of thing going on. So we try and keep it as clean as possible. Well, it's usually cleaner after the race, you know, because you go around a few times, clean up after the few days. We always miss something, and then we end up picking up other people's stuff. The 5 hours is because it gets pretty dark at 3 o'clock in the forest on a February afternoon, you know.
Yep.
And we don't be there all day. And we like to start at 10 o'clock, give everyone a chance to get there. There's no point starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, because it's really fucking dark as well, you know. And the 5 hours, I don't be there all day either, you know. Neither do the other volunteers or the marshals or anyone, you know. And as well as that, you have to pay the John's ambulance to be there for 5 hours. If you're there for 8 hours, it'd be dearer again, you know. And what's the other rule? The other rule, the earphones. The no earphones rule is used it like you be lapped. You're like you. I'm not. This is gonna sound bad. You were lapped about 5 times by the leaders.
At least.
At least. And so if you have earphones and one lad wants and you hear some footsteps and you go to your left or you go to your right, you know, you could trip them up. You know, I know one lad tripped. There was a group of people could be about 5 years ago, and they were in Gary O'Hanlon's way. It was the year Gary O'Hanlon did broke the Irish record. The fourth, I think it was the second, broke the Irish record the second time. And he had to, they wouldn't get out of his way because they didn't hear him. And he twisted his ankle. And it was really, like, it was only lucky it was his second last lap or his last lap. He would have had to drop out if it had been earlier, you know. So that's because of that. And sure, no one likes a dickhead. So that's that one, you know. It just encompasses everything, you know. Just come up, don't be a dickhead, enjoy the day, don't cause anyone any hassle, and as you say, come up, do 10 laps and fuck off. I think it's a t-shirt.
It's great though. It's great though, Anto.
I didn't come up with that. Another guy came up with that t-shirt he made a picture of me pointing to the direction of the start line or some photograph, and he put do 10 laps and fuck off. So that's kind of where that came from.
But you know what? It takes a 50k race and makes it sound so simple. It's only 10 laps. Yeah. What brought you to Donadea for this race? That is becoming a very big race.
Well, I run for Donadea Running Club, so I was always there. And the reason the race came about was I was going to do a race in Greece it was in April of that year. And I had to do a 50k training run, was in my plan. So I asked a few lads, fancy coming down, we do 50k around the forest, whatever. So next of all, it came about 20 people. I said, sure, we might as well make a race of it. So we organised a race, and then in the end I couldn't do it because I was organising it. And then that was the fourth race. So there was 19 people in that race, 19 invites. I think there's only one girl. One girl was in it, she won it, obviously. Finn O'Mara, and there was 18 other people all finished. And then the next year, then it was, and we must do this again. And then next year it was 40, and then it just kept on growing and growing and growing after that. And the same principles: be under 5 hours, don't be a dickhead, be clean up when you get back. You know,
it's class.
That's how the idea came about for the race, anyway. You know, the first initially.
Yeah, just the rep and stuff you have, and even from that, like there's some, I call them hidden rules that, like, I remember hearing about it. I remember I worked down the road in Clane, and I'd heard about it and heard like, they showed you good abuse. After 5 hours, you're gone. Like, oh fuck, I'm not so sure about this. And then, you know, don't be wearing calf sleeves down for that one now, you'd be told. And then I remember before just heading down there, Niamh was like, I'm after getting you a good dry robe and stuff, so have that on you after the race. No, give me that after the race. Fucking Anto will tear through me. It's just mad all the different rules, and the stuff having legs and stuff like that, the different sayings that go with that race is deadly.
Yeah. Oh, the Ironman stuff and the calf sleeves were just one of the guys, Brendan from Kildare Sports Massage.
Yes.
That's usually Danny came out from just be slagging him, you know, saying who's the hardest ultra runners are Ironman, you know. So that's how the calf sleeves or the calf sleeves came about, you know, just slagging them, just basically slagging him, you know, and slagging Ironman tattoos as well, you know, because he has a couple of.
Anto, when you've got involved in running, obviously you've covered a lot of races, you've seen a lot of start lines, you've seen a lot of finish lines. At what point did you think, do you know what, I could organise a few of these races? Where did that journey start for you?
Well, initially at the 50k was the first race we organised.
So that Donadea, that very first training run, that was your first ever race?
That was the very first we organised. And then just came up from then, and there was 5. I think we organised 4 or 5 Donadeas, and then during the following year we organised the 100k and the 100 miler in the forest in the summer. And then we organised the 50k as well, and that during that time for people who are without the 5 hour cut off. So people come up, do 50k in the forest without the pressure, the hassle of having to train as hard. Maybe Sean could have done that one, you know.
Kind of wish that would have
been. And then I started working with pop-up races, so we organised a few races, but we're more timers than organisers, you know.
And so how many races? So obviously pop-up races, they look after the timing chips and kind of that start-finish protocol for a lot of the races around the country.
Yeah, we do about 260 races a year, from running to swimming, cycling. We've actually, Sean, we timed the High Rocks there in January, and we're doing 2 more in March. So you might see Sean there at one of them.
Cheers, Anto. I'd say it's tough enough. That is actually, you guys know yourself, the timing going into the rock zones and all the rest and all that kind of thing. It's getting a lot more popular now, so I'd say you're probably a lot more requests to start doing those kind of races.
I'd say there'd be a lot more doing it, Maybe a lot more.
When you're traveling the country, Anto, with all these races and doing the chips and stuff everywhere, is there certain races you're at where you see certain, I don't know, trails, tracks, races, whatever it is, and you're kind of like, this race should be bigger, it should have more attention on it? Like, it's one of those hidden gems. Like, Donadea now is one of the top races in the country. There's a lot of big races people talk about throughout the year. Is there any races you're like, this one should be bigger, this is a real cool race that more people should get involved and sign up for?
There's loads of them. There's loads of hidden gems. Like Black Coffee next on Saturday is a great race. 10k and 5k. There is all the Peugeot series races. They'll be out soon. I think the first in Port Leash. That's a 5k. That's a great race. There's loads. Just have a look at the pop-up races website. There's loads of races in there that you can go. There's actually great racing. Y'all had a great race this year. It was on your new race. It was instead of the Ironman that was cancelled. That was a great race. But there's every race should be bigger, you know. There's loads of great, really good organised races, you know. So on the 5th of April, we have the 24-hour race. The 24-hour race in Leixlip, the Trasna na Blianta, which is 24-hour race, and it's the Irish Championships this year. So we have a 12-hour race and a 6-hour race. And it'll be the last chance for anyone to qualify for the Irish team for the World 24-Hour Championships in Albi in October. So that's on the Leixlip track.
Am I right in saying this used to be New Year's Eve, Anto, and you know, everyone gets involved, people doing the 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour?
I had 2 of them on New Year's Eve, so it was basically across the years in Ireland. And then we had a different one in August. I think Shawnee did it. Shawnee did that one. I think he did the 6 hours. And then we didn't have it this year New Year's Eve because it made a bit more sense to have it in April to coincide with the last chance to qualify for the Irish team. We got a permit, we got our label from IAU, and then we were granted the Irish 24-Hour Championship race, which is always good to have it. So that'll be two Irish championships in Kildare, the 50k and the 24-hour race. So Kildare is increasingly becoming the centre of ultra running in Ireland.
Courtesy of Anto.
There was some athletes down there back in August for that one. It was 240, no, was it near 70 kilometres over 24 hours?
Yeah, it was 275 kilometres over the 24 hours. And it was a Belgian record, the Belgian 24-hour record. It was the 20th, it was the top 20, it was the 20th best ever 24-hour distance. And it was the biggest ever distance on Irish soil in 24 hours by Matthew Bond.
Looking to recover faster, train harder, and perform better?
And then what?
Perform Nutrition is one of Ireland's leading sports nutrition brands with a number of great tasting protein powders, a range of vitamins, as well as other supplements such as creatine. All products are made in the GMP facility in the west of Ireland, and they have a range of batch tested and informed sports certified products. Perform is trusted by a number of Olympians, High Rocks champions such as Sean Noble, he was in the podcast.
Yeah, right, he was.
Also CrossFit Games athletes such as Emma McQuaid and many more. Perform's goal is to offer the highest quality, best tasting nutrition products for competitive prices. And now you can get an extra 25% off all products with the code AGR on their website, performnutrition.com.
25%. I'm typing it in now. And don't forget, we are supporting Irish companies. You are supporting this podcast by listening to this advert. So support Irish, get behind your podcast and get behind your local businesses. And until then, let's get back to the podcast.
Absolutely phenomenal. That's crazy. But April 5th, I'll have to check that. Not for 24, maybe 6.
I think you should do it, Johnny. or Carl.
Carl Pilkington.
We'll have to explain that one in the intro for the guys.
But it should be a good day.
April 5th, I'll look into that. I don't think I've got a race on April 5th. I'll have to check that.
Eric's have to buy you a free entry.
I did, yeah. I got you one there.
Yeah, any given Monday, 24-hour race. bring.
I'll even get you a T-shirt, Sean.
Yeah.
I'll get you a T-shirt.
Same T-shirt getting married in at this stage.
Yeah.
I'm actually just going to miss it by 5 days. Sorry, Ando, can't take part.
Well, actually, we'll have it'll be live on the Pop-Up Races YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see Shawnee every 4 minutes as he goes around his laps.
Well, yeah, if he's
Stretching
lucky,
out
4
for
minutes.
The last few laps, that 6-hour one, because I ran early that day, were horrific for me.
Yeah.
There's no height on that track.
Yeah. No, it's hard going on the track, you know. It's really hard going.
Absolutely. But every 3 hours you get to look the other way. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, good. Hopefully it goes around well. And hopefully, as I always say, after a race, we'll go, how do you think that went? We go, well, nobody died and nobody got lost. That's the standard.
And so this weekend, people are going to be taking on the Donadea 50K. We know there's good crack. There's good crack on every lap. The beauty about a lap race is you get to see the same faces as you come around every 5K loop. Unfortunately, one of those faces is it you with the microphone?
No, that's the race MC, Mark Neelian. Yeah.
So Mark is the name I needed. What can they expect from Mark this weekend?
Oh, Mark is on the ball. He will spot anything and he'll pick on it. He'll pick on it as Shawnee will know.
To this day, I still don't know how he spotted me at the very start of the race, because I could hear him at the very top talking to Ian Fitzgerald and being like, who's this podcast? It's talking about the podcast and all the rest, and being like, this lad's what are you doing in the 5 hours? I'm like, I'm not going nowhere near him. Sure, you only hear a voice if you listen to the podcast. So I try to stay in the middle. And as soon as I got to the starting line, like, just awful abuse I got from there. I was great crack, don't get me wrong. But straight away, every lap, like, I got away with it now. Something for 49 or some of the podcast or something. But yeah, you just hear him constantly throughout the loops. Like he's deadly.
Mark is brilliant. He can see someone and he kind of knows what to say. Obviously, you like a bit of slagging. If you saw someone who was struggling, he's well able to kind of big them up a bit, But he's dead. He's some man for talking for 5 hours of chatting and music, and he does the photographs as well. He does the sweaty snaps. Brilliant photographs he does. Free, well, not the free. I have to pay for them, but I can do them for free.
And does he fuck off after 5 hours as well? Is he very expensive for the 6? Is he the real reason it's only 5 hours?
Well, he stays on for 5 hours and 5 minutes because we play Beck's loser after 5 hours. And then he packs up and goes.
So what can people expect from the race itself? Obviously, people are going to be listening to this hoping to get a nugget of information or something to just ease their nerves into the start line. Obviously, they're going to learn the course after the first, second loop, third loop. They'll know it like the back of their hand, and then they're in it. But what can you kind of say for people who may be doing this for their first time or even their second time?
Well, I'm not here to make it easy for them. Expect. Actually, this week now the forest is closed for the week because there's that many trees knocked down. So it's going to be, the ground is going to be very heavy. And expect no world records this week. But they can expect that you can see everyone at the start line really nervous, and then as they go through it, and they kind of get into it. Then they kind of get into the Donadea vibe where it's not that scary, But the hills, I think Shawnee would know, the hills that are around the back that are not, everyone says, oh, these aren't hills. The pacers would be always saying, oh, your man there in the blue, or your man there in the American football jumper saying the hills aren't great. And then after the seventh lap, they're fucking hanging. But it's just to take it easy. Just to take it easy. I was talking to a few lads who were saying, oh, we are going to go down and do this, whatever, 4-minute mile or 5-minute miles or whatever their pace was. And after doing a few laps, they're down to about, knocked off about 15 seconds a minute, But yeah, if anyone's the first, well, they should be nervous, but they're going to have a bit of crack. They'll have a bit of fun, and we want everyone to finish. People think after 5 hours, so people won't finish, but we love it. Everyone finishes. They'll all have a bit of crack. If they've done the training, they've nothing to worry about.
No, don't worry.
Sean looks very worried right now.
If they're on the last lap of 4.5 hours, they'll make it. And stick in front of the pace. We've Ollie and Joe pacing they pace 5 hours every year. So if just stay in front of them, they'll be grand. And I've a lovely trophy for this year's last person as well. I picked it out there yesterday.
That was my follow-up question now. The trophy at the end. There's been a couple of people getting very close to 5 hours. A couple of cool videos ago the last couple of years in that one.
Yeah, this video went viral. There was a couple of million views on that,
Wow.
And she got the trophy. I think she got the clown trophy, I think. I think it's not a clown or something, I think last year's was the darts.
But that was actually, a stick of darts.
Yeah, the year before that was a nice bottle of wine, but we're not going there.
You don't want to get too good now. People be pulling back in their race just to get in last to get the proper prize.
Yeah, well, there was a few lads doing that. You can see them hanging back trying to be last, but you have to. We have a few people looking at it now. You have to make an honest effort.
Yeah.
And as close to 5 hours is better. It's better for the video.
Absolutely.
And for Mark, and then Mark, you can see Mark building it. Mark builds it up, so a good crescendo at the end, So it was his voice on the video that kind of made it as well, as well as Tess finishing. And the guy last year finished, I can't recall his name.
He's great, creating atmosphere and stuff, and the amount of people there along that straight that all come in towards the finish, it is really, really well done and definitely a highlight. We had Jer on the podcast on Monday, so people
hold on, Sean. Anto, are you a betting man?
I'm saying nothing.
Anto,
well, I know what I bet. I'll tell you, if you look hard enough on the internet, you'll find that photo. I think it may have been splashed all over TV3 as well.
Anto, we need a T-shirt with that photo on it. That's what we need. Proof. Yeah, okay. Proof.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll send you the photograph and you can put it on the podcast notes.
For those who don't know, you can listen back to our episode of Jer and Anto had a bet after his accident about if he ran a sub 3:15 in the marathon, Anto would have to, I suppose, get his kit out for a charity, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, the way on the bibs, I personalised them. So I have Jer's one done for him already.
Very good. But look, it seems to be, by all accounts, I think this could be the biggest year for the Donadea 50k, is it, for entries?
It is, yeah. We've nearly about 375 on the start list this year.
What does that mean in terms of getting to and from? I know there's a couple of changes this year.
Well, I have everyone. I've an extra car park organised. I did say there was a car park for people to go to the later entries, but they're all going to be facilitated in the normal car park. And then any groups that are coming after, to see the race will be directed to the overflow car park. But that'll be in the race info and a post next week. If everyone parks as close to the next car as possible, we get more in. And I have a few lads organising the car park, so we should be okay. Everyone should get in before the start of the race.
With the way that this race is going, is this going to end up being a lottery race, a merit race, or what way do you see this going? Or is there because obviously the forest, the capacity is only so much.
Yeah, I suppose we could double the capacity on the actual loop, because that kind of strings out fairly much. Well, not double, maybe get another couple of hundred on it. But it's just the car parking, and we could start doing buses and stuff, but that's just hassle, So I think usually everyone who wants to do it does get in, I say there was about 60 people transferred over the Christmas, So there's a lot of messing, well, not messing around, but a lot of people changing names and stuff like that, which was all right. But I'd love to get it bigger, but just the car park is too small. There may be more. The car park probably will get bigger because they're putting in Zippy on the forest,
Oh yes, that's right.
So hopefully get a bigger car park. But we'll see what goes. So last year there was 315, I think, on the start list. This year 375. So hopefully it doesn't go up to 400 next year. A bit too much. But I think everyone who wants to get in gets in, There's always, obviously, some people are disappointed they don't get a spot. But that's life.
Fair enough. It's fair enough. To your point there, when you do get that starting line, even though it is bigger, you're like, my God, it feels crowded and stuff. But very, very quickly, that just disperses. Like, even when I was a couple of weeks ago doing for the World Half Marathon Festival there, I was like, there's a lot of us here bunched together in this small trail road. And like within not even half a kilometre, I was like, oh, there's only a few people around me all of a sudden. It just disperses out very quick.
Yeah, it thins out very quickly, and then with the longer lap, it thins out even. You think you're on your own for laps, when you have when the 5K lap, because was the shorter lap. I think it was 3.5K or 3.7 or something last year.
3.7 last year.
There was a bit actually around the start and finish areas. There was loads of people, but I think when the 5K loop, it's a bit thin. You'd be a bit lonely.
I'm sure it won't take long before a fair few start passing me. Who do you think? I thought a couple people favourite to win it this year. Who do you think might win it this year or take it?
Just looking at the list, there's always a few surprises. I don't think it's like we've 3 former winners lining up this year. We've Ian, Instagram Ian. We have Tudor. And Sean Hare is back. Sean Hare's won it twice. Won it once in Donadea, once in Mondello, and we had to have it there for COVID. And so I think Wayne is going well as well. Wayne Waldron
doing great.
So there's 4 that could be, and there's always a few more. There's always 1 or 2 surprises. A couple of fast marathon guys will probably be in there as well, So there's the 4. I mean, Katrina Jennings coming back as well, and in the women's, and we've Deirdre Martin coming back. So Katrina won it once, I think. Deirdre Martin won it once and was second a few times. So we should have a good ladies race as well. And Laura Driscoll as well is coming back. She's won it twice. So we've a fair few good ladies, good men coming through. So hopefully it's a decent race. And Gary O'Hanlon probably just one up his runners as well. Want to go.
He'll just show up just for the crack. But it sounds like, look, from those who are looking to compete in the 50K, it's a good lineup. It's something that makes you want to be better. And as it's always come up on the podcast, iron sharpens iron, and nothing better than when you line up against them to give you that competitive edge. And these are some of the best over the 50K in the country.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great now to get the 4 of them under 3 hours. Usually there's only, I think there was 4. There was the most times there's only 2 under 3 hours in the one race. I think it's always usually 1, and then someone a few minutes after them. So hopefully we get 4. But so 3 hours 10 is the A standard, international standard, and 3:20 is the B standard. So hopefully we good. I think last year we had 16 under 3:30, which was good. 16 finishers, and one of them was a female, was Sorka. But that was she did the world age group record in the Donadea last year.
That's right, yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah.
Just trying to do the maths on that. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Getting under 3:10 for that. What's the record in Donadea?
2:49.14 off the top of my head.
That's a tough one to beat. Yeah. Particularly now, bad weather. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit heavier, probably.
Yeah, it'd be hard to beat.
It's going to be hard to beat that time.
Yeah, it will be, especially, and there's more in the course as well. More people, so there'll be a bit more, passing out and getting through people. So I don't think it won't be beaten this year. Well, it'd be great if it was, but I don't think it will be with the ground, because it's fairly wet and soggy, and we all have to go up there. I have to go up there on Saturday, and after they're cutting the trees today and tomorrow, so I have to go up on Saturday and try and get all the bits of branches off the course. So make it easy for the lads, you know.
You got your work cut out for you. I saw one or
Sean.
two pictures and that.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to win that's going to have to pass me out a good 9 times to win that race. That's your goal.
That means you'll be there in your rounds about 8 o'clock at night then.
So, Anto, as race director for the race, I suppose you've never done from that first one. You were intending to do.
Yeah.
Is there ever a year we're going to see you feature in the Donadea 50K?
Probably. Well, maybe. I don't. It's gone so big. It's like a full-time job now, the race, you know. Because we start, registration starts, you know, 2 days after we finish. You know, we're going again. I'd love, maybe I'll do it for me 50th.
Yeah.
60th. I might do it. This year is the 15th year, so maybe do it the 20th year. If we can, maybe Sean can be the race director for the day. He can dish out abuse.
You'll be missed way too much without me having to do that for that one.
You'll have Mark as a sidekick if you like.
Eric might come home from Mozambique to do it 1 year.
Yeah.
If you need people abused, Anto, I'm your man.
Well, I heard.
I can attest to that.
I think I heard in last year's podcast he was going to come over and race you.
I'll talk.
I think
He's gotten further away now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Signal's bad in Africa. What'd you say?
Well, I'll tell you what, you can do it virtually. If you do 50k in the day, we can have the race.
We'll have the treadmill set to a downhill.
Yeah.
But look, it's going to be a phenomenal day for those who are getting involved. It can be a wet day out there for spectators who are coming as well. Make sure to wrap warm, because although it is only 5 hours, it's a very long 5 hours if you get wet. The forest is fantastic for kind of keeping you sheltered from wind, but if it's rainy, if it's miserable, do stay warm. There is a cafe going to be open on the day, Anto, and stuff for people who are coming along.
Yeah. Pamela's Cafe be open there. But more welcome to bring her own stuff. She'll have hot tea, coffee, and soup and stuff going. But I do say bring your own stuff. We don't do showers, so bring your own towels if you want to go into the lake. But yeah, Pam will be there for teas and coffees as well. And I think she does hot dogs as well.
Nice. Bring towels. Don't bring a dry rope.
Yeah.
Don't bring a dry rope.
Anything we haven't covered yet, Anto, for this race coming up that people should know about, do you think?
No, I think we've covered it all. Just arrive early, get your number, get your t-shirt. Don't wear a t-shirt run the race. No one likes that. Because it's meant to be for going to weddings on, you know, rather than for running in. They're not precious. Just turn up early, get your number. And again, don't be a dickhead. Come up, have the crack, take the race as it is, you know. And everyone should have a good bit of fun, you know.
Absolutely. And on that note, I look forward to seeing you Saturday, I think.
You never mentioned your big sponsorship deal.
I was going to let you pick up the big announcement. Any other info on that one, Anto? It's a big coup for the Any Given Monday podcast. I thought you were going to announce it for us.
Well, no, it's a big coup for Donadea 50k, having Ireland's top podcast, you know, on the back of that jersey.
Thank you very much.
So for those who don't know, the Donadea 50k famous T-shirt that you only wear to weddings will be sporting the Any Given Monday podcast logo, and we're delighted, actually, privileged to be a part of it. So do keep that T-shirt safe. Wear it at the big occasions, christenings and weddings, and remember us all when you're doing it. But Anto, it has been brilliant having you on. So good. Sean is shitting it for the race, but I've no doubt that the other 374 people are looking forward to it. Well done on what's been a great event, and we wish you all the best for this weekend and for the years to come, and hopefully it gets to the 20-year anniversary where you can have a race.
Hope so. Listen, thanks lads for having me, and Sean, I will see you on Saturday morning, bright and sharp.
Absolutely. One of these years you might see Eric at the race as well.
I will. And actually Andrew Meehan was Andrew Meehan will be there waiting for you as well. The professor.
Yeah, he's
professor. There's two people he does never want to see again, and it's me and Sean. I tell you that much.
Yeah. Did you have them as well?
Same year.
Yeah,
me
we
and
were
him
in the
same
same
year.
year.
Well, in fairness,
Bill
at
and
least
Ben, the
you
flower
made
pot
something
men.
of yourself, you know.
Eric somehow finished and got the degree. I didn't pass his year. That was it. It wasn't down to him. It was down to me. And actually, I failed a fair few lectures, including his, I think. But sure, long time ago. Haven't changed.
You can always go back.
On anything but that note, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of the Any Given Day podcast. Myself, Anto, and Eric. Take care.